Barry Spencer, co-creator of Wealth with No Regrets, to talk to you about investment returns and assessing performance based on what those returns have been in the past or what they should be going forward. I was sitting down just the other day with a wonderful individual who had been very successful in their career, accumulated a lot of stock, had accumulated a good amount of wealth to retire confidently going forward. And as this person sat with their brokerage advisor to talk about how their portfolio was doing, it all came back to returns. They kept assessing it. Here's what the performance was. The interesting comment that this individual asked to their advisor, who they'd worked with for, I think it was over 20 years, if I recall correctly, was, well, how do I really know how I'm doing? And they said, well, you're doing this, and here's this return, and it's looking really good. And this individual said, yeah, but how do I really know how I'm doing? What's the benchmark? What's the measure against it to know how I'm really doing? The frustration set in because this individual was never giving a benchmark to even understand, which is what this individual wanted. And I'm not suggesting that there should be a benchmark to help you understand how you're doing. What I am saying is to judge the basis of an investment based on the return you're getting may or may not be the best idea or the best assessment of the performance of your investments over time. That being said, a simple assessment of how your performance is doing on the equity side would just be the S&P 500. Assess your portfolio based on that. If you have a growth valuation or growth tilt to your performance, pick the growth elements of the S&P 500. A great way to assess it. How am I doing? If there's a bond component in your portfolio, well, just assess it based on the aggregate bond index to see how it's doing. It's really simple. It doesn't need to really be that complex. But even with that being said, how you're doing isn't necessarily about the past, current, or expected performance returns, because it's not about the money and the returns. It's what the money does for you. You could have a 10% return and never accomplish what you want. You could have a 1% return and accomplish everything you ever dreamed of. It's not about the money or the return. It's about what the money does for you. This is the bigger idea when it comes to assessing the performance of your portfolio and your investments over time is the money doing for you what you want it to and what you need to? That's far more important than just the return itself.